Good morning, everybody, my friends. It's a very, very, very big pleasure to be here with you, Altair De Almeida. Altair De Almeida, the director of the Biodanza School of London, and here for have a conversation together about the important to be in first person speaking and doing a reflection about biocentric principle and biocentric education. See? Thank you, Alter. Thank you for sharing with us your
It's
knowledge.
my great pleasure, my dear Gio. I've heard so much about your forum. I was invited last year, but I couldn't make it. And I'm really looking forward. I've heard of organic food and all this stuff. Oh my God. That's beautiful to hear. That's part of biocentric thing, and we don't always think about this. So my title is making biocentric living. So you're living in the moment, living in your body rather than theoretical. A lot of teachers, for example, talk about biocentric, and they don't look after themselves. They're taking drugs, medical drugs to keep their bodies alive, to stop the pains. You know, I see people suffering. And this is all part of the biocentric thing. It's not just about the vivencias, it's about living it in life. And this is my passion. I've been doing this for 50 years, since I was 19. I'm my late 60s now. And if we don't look after ourselves, in this country here where we live, you get free, so-called free medical care, but every tablet you take has got side effects. So part of, for me, the biocentric way, if you like, is not putting it out there. It's about looking inside and being inside and working with yourself. We live in these beings. If we were uh, uh, ethereal, then it doesn't matter. But we are living in this body, so we need to take charge of it and love it and enjoy it. This body is tremendous. Even recently, I found out that stem cells, for example, which diminish quickly, by the time we're 30, the stem cells have reduced by 60%. Stem cells is what makes our life, they organize the organs, they organize everything. By the time you're 60, it's 90% down, the stem cells. There are ways of regenerating it, but this is, as we get older, we start to fall apart, basically. So there are ways to change it. There are ways to change it. And my passion and my ways, looking at different ways to help our bodies to improve. We don't, in Biodanza, we don't often talk about quietness of mind because we're busy enjoying. And of course, I love Biodanza. I'm an acupuncturist, I'm a shiatsu teacher, I'm a Tai Chi teacher, meditation. But of all those, I love Biodanza the most because it connects with the heart. It's fun. And I love, it's like icing on the cake. So for me, the whole thing is important, but for a lot of Biodanza teachers, they're on the feel-good factor in the vivencia. But living outside, sometimes we forget. We forget our bodies and we eat rubbish, process a lot of processed food, and all those things have an effect. And we know this in theory, but putting it in practice takes a lot of discipline. Quietening the mind, being peaceful. We're always looking for peace in the world, but how about peace in yourself? How about disciplining your mind so that it's not running around like a mad dog um, uh, with these things, the phones. This is designed to make us a bit crazy. It's very distracting. Facebook, Twitter, and all this stuff really is distracting. the more the more we learn to quieten the mind, keep the mind quiet, connecting with your center, your navel area really helps to ground you, to come out of the head into the body. In Biodanza, we talk about no talking, but quite often, because the mind's not trained, the mind is still going like this when you're in the vivencia. So the idea is to really come into to train the body. This is not something that's really talked about in Biodanza, but it's if you don't do it, we suffer basically outside in life. Um, so things like Tai Chi, yoga, Qigong, all these things are valuable help. Biodanza is beautiful, but it's not a panacea. It's not a secret for all of life. It's great when we're in the vivencia, and there's a lot of research. My friend Marcus has done a lot of research on this field, show how the body and mind changes. But it's also taking this out into our lives. We are in Biodanza only for an hour and a half or 2 hours, but we are living our lives 24/7. So we all have uh, refining our lives. Hopefully, is all about refining ourselves, becoming more and more peaceful, more and more authentic, more and more joyful. It's not just in Biodanza, it's really taking it out. Because if we want to change this world, we need to change our attitudes to how we live our lives. It's all right to talk about biocentric life and criticize people all the time.
Mm.
When I find myself doing that, I always, whenever I get angry, and I get angry as well. I'm not a saint. When I get annoyed or when I get angry, I discipline myself to use a Hawaiian prayer to bring myself back. It's forgive me, thank you, I love you. That is a Hawaiian prayer, and within seconds I can come back to myself. Because if I don't do that, you get cortisol in the body, which creates acid in the blood. Not good.
Yeah.
So these are mind tricks, you could say. Actually, it's not a trick; it's a discipline, and it's something in Biodanza we don't talk about discipline so much. We because most of us are into the feel good, and I love it for that reason. But without discipline, it's like being on a ship where the sailors are doing what they want rather than working together and coordinating. So this life is very short, my dear friends. It's very short. We're only here for a few years. So in order to live a good life, we need to learn simple methods. It's not rocket science, but it takes discipline to do this. And for me, I've been on the path of Tai Chi, for example, for since 1980. So that's 45 years. And I don't always give enough time for that, but it's a real help for coming out. So in the forum, I'll be doing some exercises, very simple exercises, for example, a walking meditation, just to bring you into your body. These are things you'll be able to take into your life. And I'll also be giving you ideas of various covering different parts to keep us grounded daily. And it's easy to learn this in theory, but to make it practical takes, there's no shortcut. You have to discipline.
Mhm. Mhm. Wow. So thank you very much. We wait for you in the forum to learn about um, to be friend with the word discipline, like a rhythm to spread more life in our life. If we change the word discipline with rhythm, we see that in the all nature is rhythmical. So
Absolutely.
we wait for you in the forum to learn this possibility to connect with the rhythm of life, to be in peace in her inner body and inner soul. Thank you very
Mm.
much, there.
I'm looking forward to it, my dear. I'm looking forward to hugging you again. And you've got some really good, some of the top Biodanza teachers in the world, and I'm because we'll have more contact with them. I'm really looking forward to that, and